Mic check. 1, 2. Mic check. 1, 2. I can't even start the live stream normally because L just gifted 10 memberships to be part of the Finally Fasting fam. If any of you right now just got a membership, please thank L. L, thank you for the huge donation right at the top of the live stream. Can we throw some F's up for L? Just like Peace to All says, 3 cheers for L. L, thank you so much for the 10 gifted donations. For anybody who just got gifted a donation, you're able to throw an F up. So let's throw an F up. Let's throw a clock emoji up. Let's throw whatever custom emoji up. L, thank you for the generous donation. Thank you for gifting donations to new members to be part of the Finally Fasting fam. I appreciate you. I'm sure many people who got a membership now appreciate you just as much. Thank you so much, L. And hello, everyone. Welcome to another daily live stream. Crazy way to start the show. L, thank you again. Thank you so much. Happy Sunday, everyone. How's everyone doing? It's kind of a cold day here in Chicago. I'm actually pretty cold in my office today. I really wish I brought a live stream, a long stream shirt, but it is what it is. We're gonna make it through. Even though it's a chilly autumn day, that's just how late October treats us. I'm like here doing this with my hands. Before I begin, let me say hi to people who are here already in chat. Ian, GYSD, Maggie May, Kevin, Sleck, Miss Peaceful One, Elmadas, hello, peace to all, Babita, Sid, how's it going? Willis, how are you? Deja, hello, hello. Tommy, nice to see you. Where were you yesterday? Deja actually mentioned you. Mrs. Angeles, put on the tiara. Did I say Kevin? Hi, Kevin, even if I already said hi. Lori, Randall, A, how's it going? Dynamite, welcome. Margaret from Facebook. Ronnie, I did say L, or maybe I didn't. No, I did say hi to L earlier just for gifting all those donations. Jennifer, Birdie, hi Birdie, it's been a minute. Lucy, hello. I did say Jennifer, right? Maybe. Afia, how's it going? Philly and ATL, Tanisha, Juyon, nice to see you. The Hearts and Cake, Tanya, welcome. Nice to have you all. Welcome to another accountability live stream. If any of you are new here and you're wondering what is an accountability live stream, well, it's pretty much where I am sharing with you all my accountability, how I'm doing fasting wise, what my weight on the scale is, just to, I guess, break the suspense. I am finishing another round of ADF, and yes, I hit another new low weight today, but I'll talk about that in a second. These accountability live streams is an opportunity for me to share my progress, to let you know how I'm feeling, whether good or bad. I'm going to repeat that last part, or bad. I continue to show up even if I am not doing my best, because it's in those moments that I am struggling, that I'm having a hard time, where I need to pick myself back up. Being accountable is the most important part during that time. I know that personally for me, because I know when I'm not accountable, when I want to hide, when I want to run away, when Aisha, hi Aisha. Aisha says, hi Jerome, I think you skipped over me. Aisha, how's it going? It's nice to see you. I'm sorry, didn't mean to do that. But like I said, everyone, these accountability live streams is to share the good and the bad. I know personally that when I am not on my game, when I am struggling and I don't want to show up, it's easy to then fall into a slippery slope. But I've also realized that I'm not the only one that struggles this way. So when accountability is important, when accountability is the piece that's missing for you, share with us in chat. Look at chat right now. A lot of people in chat are sharing their journey. They're sharing where they're at, what they're doing, how they're feeling. Because for them, they're also starting to realize that that accountability is just as important. Knowing that they have a community, that they have people who are cheering them on as well, that we're all cheering each other on, it becomes an important piece in making sure that your journey is pushing forward. And even with that being said, it's one of the reasons that I go through the comments, because I want people to know that you are not doing it alone. We are doing it together. That's the importance of accountability. So just to begin here, Ian, right from the start, says, I was down another point. I was down another 0.6 pounds this morning. I've escaped the 250s. Congrats, Ian, on getting another piece of the scale to go down. I don't know what I was trying to say there. I had a big lunch at work, so I'm expecting a stall or a slight gain tomorrow. Pushing for a 20-hour fast tomorrow. Ian, congratulations on escaping the 250s, breaking into the 240s. But even for Ian to say, yeah, I had a big lunch, so I'm not expecting probably a drop tomorrow, but also realizing that, yeah, it's going to happen. The weight is going to fluctuate. The weight is going to have, or the weight on the scale is going to do what it's going to do, but it doesn't stop the process. You should always trust the process, because Ian knows that I'll put in another fast. If I can get to another long OMAD or push further than that, I'll find some success. If I can keep my refeed low the next time, I'll find some success. If I can make sure I get a good amount of sleep, put in my cardio, work on some strength training, continue to work on the mental part, I will find success. So Ian, thank you for sharing with us. Maggie May says, broke my fast at 72 hours, currently in my refeed. Congrats on the 72-hour fast. What's for refeed? Or what are you having for your refeed, Maggie May? I don't know if any of you have checked. I just posted my refeed from a couple days ago. It wasn't my last refeed, but it was the one prior to that. That's probably the cadence I'm going to be doing these now. But hopefully you have a great refeed, Maggie May. Congrats on a 72-hour fast. Oh, Maggie May says, I ate a half a pound of hamburger, half a pound of shrimp, sauteed in butter, drank a protein shake in case I wanted something, or because I wanted something sweet, hit my timer again, right back on it. I love that for you, Maggie May. Thanks for sharing. Again, I was wondering where you were on your journey. Kevin says 13 hours into a 155-hour fast. So pushing forward, right? Keeping your rolling 155s up. Hopefully you're doing pretty good, Kevin. Hopefully your refeed was good. Kevin says, I'm okay. I was pretty stuffed last night, had horrible sleep after my refeed, so I'm dragging today, but tomorrow will be better. I'll be fasting until Saturday. Oh, so I'll be doing the group fast as part of a longer fast. That's great, Kevin. For you to say you were pretty stuffed last night, you had horrible sleep, it's only one day out of the week. It's only a very small blip. Hopefully you start feeling better. Hopefully your refeed was still good, Kevin. Miss Peaceful One says, hi, fasting fam. I decided to break my fast today at 23 hours. Enjoy lunch with a friend instead of breaking tomorrow. Hashtag no guilt, no shame, no embarrassment, friendship and memories. And so this is something really important here. I'm going to switch this view here. So where is this at? Okay. Oops. There we go. That's better. That's my old view. That's my normal view there. I love what Miss Peaceful One says here. So Miss Peaceful One has done a number of various lengths fasted wise. And Miss Peaceful One is saying, I did 23 hours today. I was going to fast longer, But Miss Peaceful One had an opportunity to eat lunch with a friend. How many of you have been in this situation where you're going to have lunch, or you get invited out to lunch or dinner, and you were trying to fast for longer, and then you told yourself, well, I got invited, so I'm going to go, and you know what? I'm not even going to hit my timer and stop because it got ruined. I know there are many people out there who do something similar than that. And this is the importance of continuously hitting your timer, being aware, not just throwing away the day or the week or whatever it might be. Miss Peaceful One decided to have lunch with a friend and said, okay, then I'm going to get right back on it. No guilt, no shame, no embarrassment. And I think that's very important for many of us who are working on their journey. Your journey is not perfect. It will never be perfect. Do not expect perfection, because when you do, that's very all or nothing thinking. That's very black and white thinking. And while there's nothing wrong with pushing hard, you also have to understand how to give yourself grace every now and then. Thank you for sharing with us, Miss Peaceful One. Hopefully you had a great lunch. Thank you for sharing. Slex says, I broke my fast last night after work at 30 hours. 30-hour fast. That's great, Slack. I just broke again now at 13 hours, finishing the leftovers. Going to fast until tomorrow night and then start the challenge. If anyone's wondering about the challenge, I know Miss Peaceful One, who I just brought up earlier, is having a 72-hour fasting challenge. Does that start tomorrow, everyone? Or does that start on the 28th? 22? Or is it tomorrow? You are all in chat. You all can share. I might have forgotten. I know my journey is a little different right now. I know I mentioned I wasn't able to participate, but Slack, congrats on the 30. Hopefully breaking at 13 was okay for you. Hopefully it didn't trigger anything like, oh, I broke too early or anything like that. Hopefully you enjoy your leftovers, and then good luck on the challenge. Good luck on pushing a 72. Almada says, today is day 23. I've lost another half a kilo. Congrats, Almadas, on continuing your journey. I refed too heavy, headache and nausea, kept at 23.1. I'll go to bed early today, so I'll watch tomorrow. Almadas, great on, or congrats on another day. Congrats on losing another half kilo. So even in moments like this, Almadas realizes the refeed was too heavy. It ended up giving Almadas a headache and some nausea. And so when you say kept it at 23.1, for today, I'll go to bed early. So, right, no beating yourself up, no saying, well, everything's shot, I feel like shit, I'm just going to, Almadas is still hitting their timer and saying, I'm just going to keep it up, going to pick it back up, going to move tomorrow, or going to keep it moving tomorrow. So Almadas, thank you for sharing with us. Hopefully the headache and nausea doesn't last long. Hopefully you start feeling better. You know that all you got to do is keep pushing on your journey. Peace to All says, I'm 50 hours in, still trying to decide whether to break tomorrow and restart for the 72 or continue on. Peace to All, that's up to you. It would be my longest fast, so I'm intimidated by that. I usually get sick and weak after 95 hours. Peace to All, listen to your body. Do what works for you. I know that many of us who are trying to get through this challenge, or people who are here who want to participate in that challenge, sometimes it's good to do something together. So it's really up to you. But peace to all, whether you're going to push for longer, whether you decide to break early because you want to participate in the 72, it's still success. That's great. Congrats on being 50 hours in. You'll have to keep us posted on where you're at. Babita says, hi all, just refed after a 5-day fast. Again, congrats on that 5-day fast. Hopefully your refeed was good. Just hit my timer 5 minutes ago for the next 4-day fast. And so when I see this is Babita saying, yeah, just going to keep going. This is why I tell people, I get very confused sometimes when people fast, because I like to think that just like our journeys, how they never end, it's the same thing when it comes to fasting. Are you aware of what you're doing? It doesn't mean that every fast has to be a long fast. All I'm just saying is, after a long 5-day fast, maybe you just want to make sure you're aware. And if the next day it's a 16-hour fast, then it's a 16. You hit your timer, you're aware of what you're doing, you refeed, and then you go again. Babita, congrats on the 5-day fast. I look forward to you letting us know how your 4-day fast is going. Sid says 2 weeks in on a 30-day water fast. Congrats, Sid. Weighed in at 196. Well into Wonderland at this moment, or at this point. The 190s are flying by. It definitely looks like it. I have my trip to Lake Tahoe after the fast, but I'll do a second 30-day fast after I get back to hit goal weight. You'll have to keep us posted, Sid. Congrats on 2 weeks in. I love that for you. You'll have to keep us posted. I mean, doing 2 back-to-back, well, you're going to be at Lake Tahoe, so I'm sure there are going to be a couple days in between that. But one day at a time. You'll continue to keep us posted. I see you here every day now, so I love that for you. Deja says, can't stay today, but I hope everyone's doing good. Thanks for stopping by, Deja. Curiosity got the best of me. I weighed myself this morning, 168. I know by the end of my 10-day, I'll reach my 165 goal. Deja, congrats. How many days is it in? Or how many days has it been? Is it 4 days now? I think it is. Motivation to keep pushing. Deja, congrats. Congratulations. You are so close to goal. You're so close to goal. I can't wait for you to let us know when you make it there. Tommy. Hi, Tommy. Sorry, I was just reading other chat here. Tommy says, sup, J Levels and my fasting peeps. J Levels? Why do I not get the reference? Am I missing the reference? Oh, goodness. My wife's aunt passed away yesterday, so your boy got to do the family thing. Tommy, I'm guessing that's probably why you weren't here yesterday. Tommy, I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully your wife and you and your family's doing okay. Plenty of food around here, but your boy held out and did a couple of 18-hour fasts. Tommy, thank you for sharing with us. I'm so sorry to hear that. Hopefully you're doing okay. It looks like despite everything, right, you're still taking care of yourself. Sounds like you're there for your family, your wife, and everyone else. So thank you for sharing with us, Tommy. I know there's been a couple things going on lately for you, and hopefully just even being here is putting you in an okay mental mindset to just keep pushing on and continuing to take care of yourself. Thank you for sharing with us, Tommy. Also, what do you mean by J levels? What am I missing here? Aisha says, I'm almost 96 hours fasted, almost 4 days in. Day 2 of being at 180. I might be 179, but not sure. I just have to trust the process. Well said, Aisha. Also, congrats to you on breaking into those 190s or finding your way there. I got up after 4, went on a 2 and went for 2 30-minute walks, drank over 3 liters of water. I love that. I love that for you, Aisha. Congrats on the success, on pushing forward, on doing what you have to do. Aisha, have I asked you what your goals are? Is there a number you're aiming for? I'm just curious. When I ask these questions, I ask them because hopefully you all answer later, because I always like reading chat afterwards. So keep me posted, Aisha. Mrs. Angela says, hello, everyone. Day 28. Congrats on doing 4 weeks, being accountable, showing up for yourself for 4 weeks, Mrs. Angeles. Down 15 pounds, currently 18 hours fasted. Will break tomorrow. Congrats, Mrs. Angeles. I love that for you. Thank you for sharing with us. And congrats on the huge success of on your journey. I love that. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Willis says, I've been doing some longer fasts with some shorter fasts thrown in between, flexibly fasting, right? I'm making progress. Still just started my timer about 10 minutes ago, going for a 65 to 72 hour fast, which will end on Wednesday. Keep us posted, Willis. Congrats on just being here, putting the work in, showing your accountability. Thank you for sharing with us. Did I miss a super chat? Letty. Hey, Letty, I'm looking at the colors. These colors match. Letty, how's it going? Welcome. Letty with a $2 super chat. Letty, you've always been so supportful. You've always been so supportive. Letty with a $2 super chat that says hello and happy Sunday to everyone. Thank you, Letty. Appreciate you. Thank you for the $2 super chat. It means a lot to me. And happy Sunday to you as well. Thanks again for the support. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, let me go ahead and scroll down here. Lori says, I'm fasted about 70 hours, might go to 90. Keep us posted, Lori. Nice to see you. I always see Lori in my comments, so it's always great to have you here on the lives as well. Okay, let me scroll down. Thanks for the kind words, Aisha. Hi, A. Although, did I say hi, A? I think I did. Hello, hello. Okay, I'm going to scroll down here just to read other. Birdie says, at my second job driving, so I won't be able to interact. Just wanted to say hi. Hi, Birdie. It's always nice to see you. I mean, I always look for Birdie on our Wednesday live stream, so welcome. Or at least, nice to at least have you on here for a little bit. Lucy says, hey, y'all, I've been feral. Is that right? Feral. I've been feral. Yes, feral. I've been feral, eating and drinking since Friday night, planning to do an open-ended fast until I make the scale my bitch. Lucy, I mean, I know you and I have chatted. My only reminder to you is I want you to do hard things. I want you to do amazing things. I want you to push when you can. But you and I have had this conversation. I also want you to find the middle ground instead of the all or nothing as well. But thank you for showing up, Lucy. Thank you for sharing with us. Keep us posted on your journey. Keep us posted. Okay, let me scroll down here. If I just missed anything else. Bush Girl says 23 hours into my first 48. Congrats on being 23 hours in. How does it feel? I don't know if I've seen you in here before, but will you let us know tomorrow how you're doing if you're able to make that 48? And remember, if it doesn't get that far, if you're not able to make it, still show up. It also doesn't mean that if you don't make 48, it doesn't mean that you failed. All it means is that you work on your other levers, whether it be the way you refeed, keeping the time short, making good choices, getting some steps in, doing some body weight exercises, right? You're still going to continue your journey. So whether you make it tomorrow or not, and I don't say that to discourage you, I just want to make sure that you show up for yourself, that you continue to work on your journey. Thank you for sharing with us, Bush Girl, and congrats on being 23 hours in. Fasting My Way to Jen just says, hi, Jerome, just watched your refeed video. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Thank you for supporting. Oh, it's because I asked that question. So I see Maggie May saying you also watched it as well. GYSD, hi GYSD, says, does anyone have imposter syndrome at goal weight? It's hard to change the mental identity, even if the physical appears very normal to the outside world. I think this is a common thing, GYSD. I think this is something that many of us go through. So when you say imposter syndrome, are you saying that even if you're at your goal weight, you still feel like your old self? Or do you feel like you're not where you need to be just yet? But I feel this way. I mean, even for me today, even though I know I'm at or in the 130s, it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Sometimes I feel like I'm still where I was at 225, 235. It happens every now and then. I don't know how I've been able to, quote unquote, like defeat that. Even though other people physically see that I'm at a lower weight, sometimes it's hard for me to get out of that mindset. I think it's also just because I haven't been here. I mean, if you think about it, I've only been at this weight for less than 2 years. And the other 40 some years has been me at pretty much an overweight, obese, or more morbidly obese state. So I get it. I don't know. I don't have anything else that I can share with that except, you know, for me, it's always been, I've always seen myself in my former self. Portia, hi Portia. It has been a minute. How are you? Hey y'all, I missed you all. Same Portia, please keep us posted. It's nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome. Okay, let me scroll down here. Tech over tech. Hi, Tech over tech. Nice to see you. 43 hours into my 72. The scale was trying to discourage me, so I got up and went for a 2-mile walk to push those negative thoughts out of my head. I have to remind myself I'm good. Stick to it. Tech over tech, that is a great way to look at it. I also, right, it's just a good reminder for you to know that the scale doesn't mean everything. As long as you are doing good, healthy habits for yourself, that's all that matters. I can't remember, Tech over tech. Is this you working on a third rolling 72? Have you done 2 in a row? I know that you had shared with us before. I can't remember everyone's journey. So it's hard for me to keep up. I'm just asking because I'll eventually look at it in chat and see where you're at. Thank you for sharing with us, Tech over tech. Congrats on being 43 hours in. Don't worry so much about the scale. Trust the process. That's what's more important, is trusting the process. I'm scrolling down here just to see how everyone else is doing. Hi, Chill Vibe. Hi, Cap Rising. Nice to see you. Cap Rising says, after yesterday's fast, I lost 3.4 pounds. So trust the process, everyone. Cooking some cod later on. And just to remind people, Cap Rising had a couple days of eating back to back and then realized that they had to put themselves kind of back in control. And right, like even eating back to back days realizes that once you put yourself back in a fast, or at least take some time away from food, a lot of that weight that we put on is just water weight and dropping 3.4 pounds. So thank you for sharing with us, Cap Rising. Hopefully you're feeling better. Hopefully you're feeling more in control and feeling more normal than how the last couple of days have been. Hi, Thomas. How's it going? I see you in there in chat. Thomas says, do you go by a weekly calorie budget or a daily budget? I feel like a weekly budget is better for flexibility. I mean, for me, even as I've been sharing my nerd stats, I am even more on a monthly budget. I told myself, and when Thomas asks a question like this is the best way I can put this. For me, if I were to be at my goal weight of 130 pounds, my TDEE, meaning the amount of calories that my body burns every day, is around 2,300, give or take. So I could eat every day at around 2,300 calories and keep my weight stable. Or what Thomas means by a weekly budget is if I were to take 2,300 calories, multiply that by 7, that's about 16,000 calories. Why do I know that? Because I've already done this before. I already know what that budget typically looks like. So for me, I would have to eat about less than 16,000 calories in that week to keep the weight off. Sometimes having a weekly budget like this is really good because for me, some days I'll eat 4,000 calories. Some days I'll eat 6,000 calories. So I'm not so worried about what my daily caloric intake is for that day, but more so like looking at it as a weekly. I'm sure other people can chime in. So for you, if a weekly budget is better, go for the weekly. If daily works, go for the daily. Remember, everyone who's watching this, you don't have to go by a specific way of doing any of this. At the end of the day, ultimately, really, it still comes down to calories in, calories out. Yes, it's not a perfect science. Yes, specific calories work different than others, but at the end of the day, it's still how much you're putting in. How do I know this? Because if you fast and you have 0 calories, you're going to drop weight on the scale. You're going to lose excess body fat. So use what works for you. Thomas, if a weekly budget is better, if that's more mentally relaxing, do that. That works for me. Because even for my TDEE to be 2,300 calories and still eat 3,000 every other day, or even eat 6,000 every, however, once a week, or however, how often I have these 20% days, I really don't think about it so much in a daily basis. Aisha says, my ultimate goal is to get down to 120. I'm tall, but I'm small framed. I got down to the 140s, but had issues with my diet lever. And so hopefully, Aisha, as you continue your journey and you share with us, that you get to that place, you get to your goals. You'll always have to keep us posted. So thank you. Thank you for sharing that. It's Tech Over Tech's third one. So doing three in a row of 72 hours. I love that. Thank you for sharing. Faye says, I need help. I'm struggling on getting back on track. So Faye, just a quick, maybe couple coaching questions here. So when you're saying I'm struggling on getting back on track, my question for you is, are you at least being aware every day of what you're doing? And when I say that, I'm asking you, when it comes to being aware, are you still hitting a timer when you're fasting? Are you still being aware of how long your refeeds are? Are you keeping a mental note of how many calories you're putting in? And I'm not saying you have to be that accurate about it. I'm just wondering, when you are overeating, are you still showing up for yourself? Or are you doing the all or nothing right now, where you're just throwing away the day and not being aware at all? Because maybe the first step right now is to just start hitting your timer, start being aware, start showing up for yourself every day. I always tell people this as well. If the concern here is you're not fasting for long enough, if you're telling yourself, I suck at fasting, then I'm going to tell you it's time to clean up the diet. If the diet is the hard part, if you suck at your diet, then you got to get good at the fasting. If you suck at both of them, then this is where you start making the small changes to change your habits. And don't forget, it's not just about fasting. It's not just about the way you eat. It's also about your exercise, your sleep. All of these things count. You can't just throw away the day completely. Faye says, I think I've been doing the all or nothing. I find myself always starting over. And this is where the small steps start to change. Faye, maybe your challenge is to just tell yourself every day will be a day of progress. Every day I will put some work in. Every day might not be perfect, but I can put the work in and see if I can make small changes to change my habits, to rewire my brain from saying, I'm going to stop starting over. Because maybe that's the first challenge for yourself, is to just say, can I go multiple days in a row without starting over? With that being said, we're going to go right into nerd stats. Today is day 721 of my fasting journey. 721 days of my health and wellness journey. Think about this. This is a perfect segue. In the last 721 days, has my journey been perfect? Have there been days where I overate? Have there been days where I ate back-to-back days? Have there been days where I binged? The answer to all of those is yes. I have had many of those days. I have had really bad days. But did I start over? Did I say, well, this isn't worth it, time to just completely give up? No, I haven't. And that's why it's still 721 days. Today is 103 weeks of my journey. 103 weeks. I'm 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from 2 years of doing this. My journey will never be perfect. Your journey will never be perfect. And there's nothing wrong with that. You have to take the good with the bad. If you don't take the good with the bad, you will find yourself sometimes in that all or nothing mindset, sometimes throwing the day away completely. That's a very hard place to be in. And if you cannot give yourself grace and you cannot accept the fact that bad days are going to happen, that you can't accept imperfection, that's maybe the first step for many of you. Think about it like this. I've been doing this now for 103 weeks. How many of you have been here when I started my journey? How many of you have been here when it was maybe a year into my journey? How many of you have been here more than 3 months ago or even a month ago? Ask yourself, have you shown up for yourself every day? Have you said, I'm just going to show up every day like Jerome does? Think about that. Because think about where your progress would be if you just showed up for yourself instead of throwing the day away completely. If you were with me from the very beginning, you would be, and let's say you practice imperfect consistency for 103 weeks like me. And you told yourself, I'm just going to try to lose half a pound a week. Half a pound a week. Half a pound a week for many of us who are obese or morbidly obese is nothing. And so even if you gave yourself a goal of losing about half a pound a week, 103 weeks in, you would be over 50 pounds down. Doing this for a pound a week, you'd be over 100 pounds down if you had that much to lose. And I'm sure for many of you, it's not the hardest thing in the world. Because imagine what you would have learned in almost 2 years. You would have learned to give yourself grace. You would have learned to eat better. You would have learned to fast better. You would have grown your fasting muscle. Why? Not because you're just going to do it, not because it just happens out of nowhere, but because you are showing up for yourself every day. You are putting accountability on the table every day. You are telling yourself, I'm not just going to walk away from this. I'm not just going to hide from this. I'm not just going to ignore this. I'm going to show up for myself every single day. I will hammer this every single day. I will hammer this every time I do these live streams because that's the importance of accountability. You might not believe it, but if you don't believe it and you think the only things that can be successful is just fasting for multiple days at a time, then you have a long road to go. You have a long way to go because that was how my thinking was at the very beginning too. I told myself, I'm just going to do 4-day fasts, eat 6,000, 7,000 calories, and just keep doing that on repeat. And I did do that. But I also know that if that was my only mindset and I never changed that mindset, I would have just probably been in that same situation where I threw everything away because I couldn't get my head out of that all or nothing mindset. This is why I tell people, I love when people push hard. I love when people can show up for themselves and push really hard. But you know what I love even more? When people can find a middle ground, when people can show up for themselves even on the hard days. Does that mean I want to see people struggle? No, it doesn't mean that. But what that means is on the days that you struggle, on the days you're having a hard time, on the days you can admit that and you can show up, that's a lot more powerful than pushing along fast. That really is. Because it's in those moments when you're struggling, when you're having a hard time that you can say to yourself, I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still hitting a timer. I'm still going for my walk. I'm still lifting weights, taking advantage of the extra calories I've eaten. I don't know how else to hammer that point down except by imperfect consistency, about accepting imperfection, the importance of doing that. I have been live streaming now for quite a while, since July 28th. But since July 23rd, I have been practicing imperfect consistency. I don't live the all or nothing lifestyle. I've given up, for the most part, the all or nothing lifestyle. I have learned to fast for short periods of time while still fasting for long periods of time. But the thing about it is every single day when I show up for myself, I continue to push weight on the scale down. I continue to give myself grace. I've had days where I've eaten a ton of calories. I've had days where I've eaten way less. But over the last 95 days, the weight has continued to push itself down. even when I go on vacation, even when I eat back-to-back days. Why? Because I don't throw away the day. I know that every day counts. I know that every day matters. I know that every day I work on a weight loss lever, whether it's fasting or being mindful about my diet or cardio or strength training or sleep or working on the emotional part of me. I know that every day that I show up for myself and I work on any of those levers is progress. That is how I continue to get better at what I do, because I'm not just throwing away the day. I'm not just saying, just got to fast forever. And if I don't do that, well, then fuck the rest of the day or the weekend or the week or the month. This is the importance of not throwing away the day. This is the importance of accepting imperfection. I can't hammer it any other way at this point. I really can't. In the last 720 days of my journey, I know what it's like to push hard. In the first 142 days of my journey, I was performing 93-hour fasts on average. I was eating 6,000 to 7,000 calories on my refeeds. And even as I did that, I still lost 80 pounds in less than 5 months. Now, I don't perform fasts like this back to back anymore. I will still push a 90+ hour fast every now and then, but for the most part, if you look at the last 720 days, I average about a 2-day fast. At the very bottom there, around 49 hours. And I found so much success fasting at short periods of time versus what I was doing before. And it's not like I wasn't finding success before, because I was, but I was fasting for long periods of time so I could just eat in huge amounts. And there's nothing wrong with that either, but I also knew that I was starting to get burnt out doing long fasts over and over and over. And I had to find something that I could do in the middle, in between. So with that being said, if I can get the app to pull up here. Okay, there we go. I am working on my 4th round of ADF right now. I am currently 42, almost 43 hours fasted. And this morning at around, I believe it was around 30 hours fasted. It's usually around 30 hours fasted when I step on the scale. I hit another new low weight. Do I have this? Did I put this video on here? Hold on, everyone. 1 second. Is this the right one? It is. Give me 1 second, everyone. This morning, I hit a new low weight, and I figured I would share that video, and I forgot to add it here. So here we go. This morning, I weighed in at 138.4. This is the lowest weight that I have been now in over a year. And I keep hitting low weight after low weight after low weight now. So if you look at my last 10 refeed weights and my last 10 fasted weights, you'll see that number has been pushing itself down. Both numbers have. My refeed weights were somewhere in the mid to high 140s just about 3 weeks ago. And now it's somewhere around the mid to low 140s. If you look at my fasted weights, it's gone from around the low 140s, and look at the last 3 fasted weights, 138.4, 139, 139.8. I'm officially consistently in the 130s, and it's nice to be here. And think about this. I am not doing long fasts. I'm not doing 65s. I'm not doing 90s. I'm not doing 168s. And there's nothing wrong with pushing a long fast. I just want people to understand that you can still achieve success doing something that isn't as drastic. That's all I'm saying. This is me really flexing my other weight loss levers outside of fasting. So I want to share this as well. So today, October 26th, I hit 138.4 pounds, around 63 kilo. This is my lowest weight since August 1st of 2024, when I weighed at 137.6 pounds. But here's the difference. Me today at 138.4 versus me last year at 137.6. For me to do 137.6, because I looked at my stats, for me to hit 137.6 back in August of 2024, I think I did four or five, I was going to say six. I believe it was 4 or 5 65-hour fasts back to back. How did I get to this weight today? ADF, just fasting every other day, eating every other day. A stark difference between that. When I hit a low weight back in the day, I was doing 90-hour fasts. So I have learned over time to fast for less and do other things outside of just fasting. Again, just really important to understand that while you can fast long and get the weight off quickly, something that I've done, who am I to say otherwise, right? Because I've done it as well. I just want a lot of people who might be stuck in this place of only fasting for long periods of time and then losing weight and then gaining it back because they think the only thing that they can do then is just performing long fasts. I want people to understand that you need to learn how to work your other weight loss levers, because if you don't, you will cycle through this again. How do I know this? Because that's exactly what I've done. When I was gone for 2+ years, when I gained all the weight back, it was because I did not learn how to do the middle. I was still very stuck in an all or nothing mindset. I did not want to be accountable when I started to slip. A lot of things I've learned about myself over the last 2 years that I have learned today. And so I share that so that you all understand you can't just do the all or nothing. You have to learn how to find the middle ground in what you're doing. It's more than just fasting. In the last 95 days, I have been getting my steps in. In the last 95 days, I have been averaging over 15,000 steps. Yesterday's step count, not even close to 15,000, about 12,000. Yesterday, I just wasn't feeling like walking extra. Not that 12,000 steps isn't anything to turn your nose up to or whatever, but I'm just used to walking a lot more. But yesterday's step count was less than 12,000. I did strength train after my refeed, and it's me working on something outside of just my fasting lever or even just my diet lever. Cardio is really important to me. Strength training is really important to me. These are things that I enjoy doing. If you want to just go through these refeeds real quick, just to share here, my last 10 refeeds have been anywhere between around 2,200 calories all the way up to 6,500 calories. A lot of protein, but they vary. When I have a day where I eat over 6,500 calories or ate 6,500 calories, I didn't throw away the day. I didn't say, well, I ate shitty on Saturday, so let's eat shitty on Sunday too. No, I trusted the process. I kept moving forward. I kept doing what I have to do. In my last 45 refeeds, my average refeed time is around 4.5 hours. My average calories right now are right at 4,000. Average protein per refeed, over 200. I practice the 80-20 rule, meaning that 80% of the time I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm fasting, or I'm keeping my calories in check, or I'm getting my steps in, or I'm lifting weights, et cetera, et cetera. 80% of the time I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. 20% of the time, that's when I'm just not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. 20% of the time, that's when I go out with friends. 20% of the time, that's when I go out to a party. That's when I'm on vacation. That's when I have a long weekend. But look at the frequency of how these play out. In the last 95 days, I have had 81 80% days and 14 20% days. So that means even on the days where I overeat, eating close to 6,000 calories, it's only happened 14 of those 95 days. I practice an 80-20 rule right now. That's about an 85-15 split. It doesn't mean that you have to have an 80-20 rule. This is just really good for me to tell myself, oh, you got invited to go out tonight? That's your 20% day. Make the best of it. Just make sure that tomorrow you get back on your 80%. You do what you need to do. Get your fast in, get your steps in, go lift weights the next day because you ate a ton of calories prior to that. I am currently working on an October goal. Sorry, I'll re-say that. I am currently working on an October. Jerome, it's Sunday and you're hungry. I am currently working on an October goal to not fast for a certain period of time. I'm not doing this October goal to hit a certain number on the scale. Instead, I told myself, just put yourself at a big enough caloric deficit to lose about 3 pounds of body fat, which is about a 10,500 calorie deficit. If you look at my October calorie pace, meaning that every day I had to be at a deficit of around 340 calories. If you look at what's highlighted in yellow, you will see I was off of my pace for the first week of October. Where you see it in green, that's where I was on pace. So these pace counts will fluctuate. The first week was a little rough, a little shaky. I had 3 out of those 7 days where I was on pace. If you look at week number 2, 5 of those days were on pace for the week. But you'll always notice that calorie pace continues to climb every single day. This is why every day counts. Every day matters. Every day you should be putting work in. Because if you're looking to lose weight, lose body fat, you have to keep up with that caloric deficit of a pace. If you look at week number 3, that pace continues. But the majority of those days, I have kept myself at a big enough caloric deficit. The days in green are when I am above my calorie pace. The days in yellow are where I am behind pace. If you look at week number 4, if you look at yesterday, October 25th, when I had a fasting day, I am now at a caloric deficit of close to 10,500 calories. I am way above pace. I have hit my goal pretty much. I am now 3 pounds of body fat down, but the month isn't over. Every day, I am still going to have to work at it. Every day, that pace continues. I'm going to be eating tonight, so that pace is going to be thrown off. It will no longer be 10,484 calorie pace tomorrow. That number will be different because I most likely will be eating above my TDEE. We don't have to dig into all the little nerd stats that I show there, but if you get the gist of what I'm saying, every day you have to put the work in. And whether it's fasting or your diet or your cardio or your strength training, you want to be pulling at all of those levers. You want to be working as many levers as you can. Not every day you're going to be working those levers like crazy. Every day that passes, maybe one day you're really good at fasting, but you're not getting your steps in. That's okay, as long as you're working on it. Some days you might have your diet lever off the charts because you're just eating like crazy. But then you should then take advantage of your cardio lever or your strength training lever. Why would you then say, well, I ate all this food, so what's the point of working out? That's the entire point. You just ate all those calories. Put those calories to use. Take advantage of those calories. When you have the all or nothing mindset, it's very easy to say, well, I ate like shit today, so what's the point of walking? What's the point of working out? When in reality, all of it matters. I didn't get to where I'm at today just because I fast. I got to where I'm at today because I said, hey, fasting is important. Fasting is a good tool that I get to use, but so is working on the way I eat. And so when I talk about working on the way I eat, I don't just mean eating chicken breast and broccoli and brown rice all day. I could if I wanted to, but you all see the way I eat. I hack it. I look for foods that I really enjoy. I still eat butter. I eat cookies. I eat processed food. And I eat a lot of healthy foods too. I mix things in. I practice imperfect consistency. Today, I'm thinking about what I'm going to be making for dinner. And I think part of what I'm making, because I'm making like a different sauce, I think some of it requires sugar, like straight up sugar or brown sugar. When I eat corn and I add butter to it, I guess what I'm trying to say is for me, I do not restrict. I don't say I will never eat this again. I don't say I can only eat this, this, and that. And I'm not saying that you should do the same. But for me, when I restrict too much, that's when my all or nothing mindset comes back. When I restrict too much, when I tell myself I will never, ever do this again, that's when I do it. Be willing to accept imperfection. Be willing to use a tool every now and then. Be willing to say to yourself, hey, I got invited to a party. I got invited to a wedding. I'm going to drink. I'm going to have a glass of wine during this wedding. I'm going to have a couple glasses. I'm going to enjoy myself. It doesn't mean that tomorrow you have to do the same thing. It doesn't mean that everything then just gets thrown away just because you got invited to go out one day. How many of you had plans this weekend? How many of you went out this weekend and went outside of your typical boundaries? I'm sure a number of you do. And hopefully if you did, you didn't throw away the weekend. You didn't just say, well, I ate on Friday. I ate shitty on Friday, so I'll eat shitty on Saturday too. And I'll eat shitty on Sunday as well. If you meant to do that, if you made a conscious effort to do that while working on your other levers, that's fine. But if you're just throwing away the day and throwing away your awareness and throwing away your accountability, that's the real issue. Okay, those are my nerd stats for today. It's time for Fit Check. Actually, that's really good timing. My timer just says I hit 1 hour exactly. So what is Fit Check? Fit Check's when I stand back here. That's when I show you what I look like physically, even when I'm feeling bloated. If I'm up 5 pounds, 6 pounds, 8 pounds, I will still stand back up there and show you what I look like. Why? Because that's me being accountable. How many of you have had a day where you ate so much and you felt like shit, and then the next day you were like, you know what? I'm not going out to brunch, or I'm not meeting my friends because I feel awful. I don't like the way I look right now, and I don't want people to see. And then what ends up happening? So maybe you don't go, but then when you don't go, then you tell yourself, well, I might as well eat today too, because you know what? It's cold out. I have this hoodie on. Nobody can see what I look like. And I'm just going to eat like shit too. And you know what? I won't work out either. How many of you have done that? How many of you have been in that situation? That's why I do Fit Check, because even if I ate really bad one day, I'm going to stand back here and show you what I look like, so I do not hide. I do not run away. When I do this, when I do Fit Check, it encourages me then to keep on my journey. That is why accountability is so important to me. And maybe it can be important to you as well. I think many of you know where I'm going with this. I see people already throwing the Fit Check emoji up there. I have been overweight my entire life, even as a child. Even when people are throwing the Fit Check emoji up there, this is the Fit Check emoji. I have been overweight my entire life. During my adolescent years, during my teenage years, when I had blonde hair, in my 20s, in my 30s, and even in my 40s. I have not just been overweight, but I have also been obese. I have been morbidly obese. Now, the reason I share all of those photos is so that you understand that I have now lost that weight, and I have now kept it off for almost 2 years through fasting and working on good habits, working on healthy habits. And I've done that naturally. I don't take any medication. I am not on GLP-1, meaning I have never been on Ozempic or Zepbound or Mounjaro or Wegovy. I've never had those injections. I have never had weight loss surgery of any kind. I've been able to achieve this naturally, even at 44 years old, even at almost 45 years old. I'm about to be 45 in a little over a month from now. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't take medication. I'm not saying that you shouldn't consider GLP-1 or weight loss surgery. But if you are in a place right now where you feel like you've lost hope and you have no other recourse, I'm going to tell you right now that maybe, just maybe, if you can start working on your habits, if you can start being accountable and show up for yourself day in and day out, maybe you can figure out how to get out of where you're at right now. And I know this because personally I've done it, but I have also coached people who have now been able to lose weight like they've never been able to lose before. And many people that I've worked with too, to be on maintenance and keep it off because they understand the importance of accountability, the importance of creating good, healthy habits, the importance of giving up the all or nothing mindset. I am always going to support you if you want to give it your all, but I want you to understand that there is nothing wrong with accepting imperfection and being okay with giving yourself grace. So let's do fit check. I'm currently wearing a very, very slim shirt. I'm currently wearing this extra small shirt. This is an X-Men shirt. It is smaller than many of the boys' shirts that I wear today. Why do I wear boys' shirts or boys' pants like this? This is a size 14 boys' pants. It's because I'm short. I'm only 5'3". So we'll go ahead. We'll do fit check. Oh, I got to raise the monitor. That should be good enough. That'll work. Okay. So front shot, again, this shirt is an extra small. These pants are a size 14 boys. Side shot right here. Rear and side. I've noticed with shirts that are not black, this shows up a lot more. If you see, this is me poking at my loose skin, poking at my belly fat right here. So I do feel pretty lean, but I also know that I still have excess body fat on me. I know I still have work to do. But I'm very proud of where I'm at. I would have never have guessed in my life that I'd be able to wear an extra small shirt or a boy's 12 to 14 shirt, or, oh, I don't have that. I was going to grab my hoodie, but I don't have my hoodie today. I would have never guessed that I would be wearing boys' pants at this point. It goes to show that if you put the work in and you just show up for yourself and you work on all your weight loss levers, you'll be able to achieve what you might have not been able to before. And, you know, I poke at this here, right? Like, as you see, this, to me, this is where the remainder of my fat is. And like I said, it's probably a combination of loose skin and belly fat, but I believe that's where the majority of this is. And so even with that being said, a lot of people ask me, Jerome, do you have loose skin? Obviously, right? Most of it is on my lower belly. I have some on my upper inner thighs. I have loose skin here on my neck, right? As you see me pick at it, and you'll see that the skin just does not bounce back, right? And I'll share this too. Sometimes when it comes to this loose skin, if you see how big my neck was before, back in the day, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that I have loose skin there. I also have loose skin on my upper arms right here as I kind of like pinch at it, but it's not a lot up here. It's one of the reasons I lift weights. I lift weights because, well, one, I want to add muscle. Adding muscle also increases my metabolism, but two, it's also aesthetically pleasing. But three, I also hope that like lifting weights, as I try to flex here, lifting weights will help with this loose skin or maybe in other areas as well. So that is Fit Check for today. Time for Q&A. I know people have asked questions earlier, and I will try to answer any questions that you might have now. I know I haven't looked in chat in a minute here, but I will answer any questions that you might have. If you don't have questions and you just want to talk about something specifically or mention where you're at on your journey, please let me know. If you said it before and I didn't say it earlier, tell me. We'll go over it for a little bit and then we'll call it for the day. In the meantime, while you might have any questions, if any of you are looking for additional help when it comes to fasting, weight loss, or accountability, you can go to finallyfasting.com. You can book a one-on-one session with me. You'll talk to me one-on-one. We will put a game plan and a strategy together. I want to be able to help people. That's my only goal, is to help you get to where you need to be. If you're somebody that's struggling because you can't be accountable, most people come for me for accountability, but people come for me for other reasons as well. A lot of us already know how to lose the weight. A lot of us know that fasting will provide us with weight loss, fat loss, but the harder part is the execution. Can you show up for yourself every day? And if you can't, do you need to work with somebody to keep you in check? Finallyfasting.com if that's something that you'd be interested in. And if any of you want to help in a different or support me in an additional way, you can go to the link in the description of this live stream and be part of the Finally Fasting fam. What is the Finally Fasting fam? It is a membership on YouTube. It is a place where if you join, you get perks. If you notice people in chat, they have green in their name or they have a little emoji next to their name that looks like this. That's because they're part of the Finally Fasting fam. You get to use custom emoji that people have been using in chat, and you'll get your names on the intros of every live stream. So if you're interested in that, you can go to the link in the description of this live stream. If you do join and you join the higher tier one, you can be part of our Wednesday late afternoon, early evening live streams where we have a group accountability session. Multiple people come on the live stream. I mean, it's not every time, but lately we have. So it's not just me on camera, other people jump on. We kind of do it together as like a support group. And we all talk about our goals. We have a communal spreadsheet that we all work off of together. We all have our own individual goals. And again, like I said, it's just another layer of accountability. So for anybody that has any, or if any of you are interested in that, like I said, take a look at the link in the description of this live stream. So I'll go ahead and I will answer any questions. Let me scroll back up here and see if anybody has any questions or any specific comments. Hey, Skippy says, the wife and I are doing ADF. We've completed 3 so far with OMAD refeeds around 2,000 or so calories, getting in 150, 200 grams of protein, carbs and fat for the rest of the calories, down 10 pounds. Very doable. Hey, Skippy, congratulations to you and your wife. And so even as I see this is Hey Skippy working on multiple weight loss levers here, ADF, but also doing OMAD and keeping the calories at 2,000, working on the diet lever, right? Prioritizing protein, keeping protein at around 150 to 200, and then the rest of the calories coming from carbs and fat. So being down 10 pounds, not doing super long fast, but still doing ADF, doing OMADs, and still finding success. I love that. Hey, Skippy, thank you for sharing. Congratulations on your success. Keep us posted. Keep us posted. Margaret and Aisha, almost right on time here. Margaret says, Jerome, what time are you planning to live stream tomorrow? Aisha says, what time do you plan on live streaming tomorrow, Jerome? I actually was looking at my calendar because I have a pretty busy day tomorrow. So I need to make sure that I have time for the live stream, which I will. Tomorrow will be another later live stream as I'm looking at it right now. So I would say tomorrow will probably be around 3:30 to 4 p.m. Central tomorrow. Thank you for the question, Margaret from Facebook and Aisha. Thanks. Thank you. Let me scroll down here. Edgar says, I tried starting, then always can't go over the 4th day. Can someone answer? So you're saying why you can't pass 72 hours? Is that what you're saying? And so I'm going to give you the answer, the default answer I give to most people. If you can do 72 hours, you can do 73. If you can do 73 hours, you can do 74. If you can do 74 hours, you can do 75. And maybe, Edgar, you're like, well, yeah, okay. But my answer to you with that is no. That's how it works. You have to work on your fasting muscle. You have to build your fasting muscle. Even if you're just getting 72s right now, how often are you getting 72s? Can you do that consistently? If you're not, then maybe that's the first part. If you are not doing 72s and you're just doing, I don't know, are you even doing anything when you're not doing 72s? Are you somebody that's throwing away the day? Because I'm going to say this, if you can't get longer than 72s, what's wrong with the 72? Are you not losing weight doing 72, or do you have to do something longer? If you have to do something longer, then you have to work on building your fasting muscle. I've made many videos about how to prolong your fast. So think about making sure you're hydrated. You're taking electrolytes if that's helpful. Try something like a 0-calorie drink, like a black iced coffee or a Coke Zero or a Diet Dr. Pepper or bone broth. See if that's able to help you push a longer fast. But even if you haven't tried those things, I'm going to remind you, what are you doing when you're not doing longer than 3-day fasts? Are you still doing shorter fasts and eating good? Are you still working on your other weight loss levers like cardio and strength training? Nothing wrong with wanting to do long fasts. With anyone that I work with anyone that asks questions like these, I want to know, what does your life look like outside of just doing long fasts? Hopefully that's helpful, Edgar. I'm sure other people have probably helped answer questions in the live stream. Jack says, what was your longest fast? 11 days or 12 days? I have to double check on that. How did it feel? It felt awful. I didn't know what the hell I was doing, but I did it cold turkey when I was like 235 pounds. And that was back in 2018. I did an 11-day fast. I did not care for it at all. I didn't know how to refeed after. I mean, I ate whatever and I was fine. But even after I did an 11-day fast, I gained all the weight back automatically. Why? Because I wasn't doing all the other things that mattered either. All I knew at the time was, okay, I'll just fast as long as I can. I never fixed the way I ate. I never fixed how to do workouts or anything like that. So it didn't feel great. I mean, it felt okay. Like, it felt nice to lose the weight, to see the weight on the scale go down. But what does it matter if I was just going to gain that weight back after? I'm not trying to say that it wasn't good at all. I learned a lot doing it. But that's why in 2019, I started doing rolling 90s and just did 90-hour fasts, because I was able to fast for a certain period of time comfortably, eat whatever I want. And it was the thing that really opened my eyes into fasting. Thanks for the question, Jack. Willis says, Jerome, do we need to join the autophagy level to get the spreadsheet? You do. But If you ever, just FYI, for anybody that ever books a session with me, you also get a spreadsheet as well. For people who work with me individually, you get a spreadsheet that you get to use forever. And it's only between you and me. Nobody else sees it. People who do use it on a regular basis, they're able to keep themselves in check. Again, it's nothing super special. It's just another tool for accountability. Aisha says, I've been feeling a little bit frustrated. I'm determined not to turn to food to cope. I'm feeling a little bit better now. And maybe Aisha, maybe you don't want to share everything here, but I wonder, are you feeling frustrated because of the weight on the scale? Is something happening in your life? And you don't have to share that either. But I think you're also aware that using food to cope is something that's probably a habit for you. So think about, and this is something I will talk to people about as well. Think about what your rewards are when you are feeling a certain way, and how you treat yourself kindly when you want to like cheer yourself up. Or like you said, I'm glad you're feeling better, but sometimes, right, it isn't just about food. Sometimes our rewards are different. Sometimes it's catching a movie. Sometimes it's going out for a walk, soaking in a bathtub, getting a massage. There are a lot of things like hanging out with friends. I mean, even grabbing like a 0-calorie drink, right? I mean, there are a lot of other things outside of just using food to cope. And if it ever came down to using food to cope, then the next step that I always tell people is, can you make it healthy? Can you still make it worthwhile? Can you keep the calories down? There's always a lot of other stages that can come first before it has to completely go out of hand. But hopefully you feel better, Aisha. Thank you for sharing. Sorry, everyone. I'm just reading through comments. What's the longest I've gone through dry fasting? Like 16 hours. I just FYI, I don't really dry fast. I mean, when I do dry fast, it's because I sleep. Because when you sleep, you're literally taking nothing in. And then afterwards, right? Afterwards, when I get up, I'll go for my walk, I'll go lift weights, and then I will hydrate after. I am too active to dry fast. I am a very firm believer in what I do, where I feel like for me, fasting wise, I think it's important for me to still function normally. And I'm not saying that I would never try to attempt a longer dry fast, but if I were to do that, I would probably take some time off, because I don't think, like, I wouldn't walk, I wouldn't lift weights, but see, that's not my normal day to day. And I want to have just a normal life. So for me, I don't really dry fast for long periods. Again, I'm not going to say that it isn't beneficial, because I know that there are a lot of benefits, but I'm in a place right now where I'm pretty happy with my progress. And so 12 to 16 hours of dry fasting is the most I have done in the past. This is really good, Jennifer. Jennifer says, I know for myself, I used to get stuck in carb cycles. It was hard to break out of, but I always felt better when I'm not eating for comfort. Comfort food isn't actually comforting. And this is very well said. And even that mindset shift is big, because when I even say the words comfort eating, I automatically feel comforted saying it. Like, oh, I know what it's like to just come home from a long day of work or being stressed out and just eating. But you're right, because I know what happens after the comfort eating. I feel like shit after. And then I start feeling guilty and say, why did I do that? Why did I let it get this bad? So that's a really good reminder for many of us here. Thanks for sharing that, Jennifer. Faye says, I was consistent for 7 months. Congrats on being as consistent as you were. Then I had a disappointing outcome from something I worked hard for. And for 1 month now, it's been a vicious cycle of starting over. So Faye, I'm glad you booked the session. I look forward to talking with you. But even as you say this, even as you share this, I'm just glad that it's been a month. I mean, I think about my journey and I was gone for over 2 years and I just let it get so bad. So for you to catch yourself now and for you to, and I look forward to having a conversation with you and seeing what your journey's been like. And I think just knowing that it's like, okay, but let's just show up, right? Let's just share what the journey looks like. Show up for yourself. And I mean, again, we'll have this conversation. I think the big step here is you know that you've been in the cycle. You're aware that this has been happening and you know you have to make a change. So it also makes me wonder when you talk about being consistent, which I love, I also wonder, has it been a vicious cycle? Because like I said before, the all or nothing part is creeping up. Maybe right now you're trying to push too hard for a long fast when maybe it's not the time to do so. Again, we'll have a conversation. We'll talk. But thank you for sharing with not just me, but for everyone in here as well. Yeah, A says here, I didn't start to see real lasting progress on my journey until I really focused on the diet lever. Fasting without more just caused me to overeat and regain the weight. It was a vicious cycle. I love that you shared that with us and that you share your experience with us as well. This is again a reminder to many of you who are here. Fasting is a great tool. It will always be a great tool. It will always be a tool that I will use on a regular basis, but it is not the only tool. Many of us have multiple tools in our tool belt, and we should be using them whenever we can, whatever is necessary at that point in time. So for A to talk about focusing on the diet. And I know A shares this with us on our Wednesdays, but A has been very dialed in on doing a lot more than just fasting. So again, personal experience, not just from me, but from many other people, that you have to work on other things outside of just fasting. Thank you for sharing with us, A. Aisha says, I think it's the number on the scale. A, have you been lining up your non-scale victories, your clothes, your blood work? I mean, I don't know what you use for non-scale victories, but maybe it's time to make a list of what those look like and see how many of those you are currently accomplishing or where you want to or what you want to accomplish. Hopefully it gets better for you, Aisha. Thank you for sharing. Jack throwing all these questions up. What do I think of juice fasting? I think that if it's helpful for you and it's able to prolong your fast and keep the calories down, I don't see anything wrong with it. So if that's something you're thinking of, is that what you want to do? I mean, you've now thrown up how long I've fasted for, if I dry fast, or how long my dry fast is, and juice fasting. If anything, Jack, what I see here is you have a lot of opportunities to work on many things. The one thing that I tell a lot of people is a lot of this, when people ask me, Jerome, is this good, or should I do this, or should I do that? My answer to you is, why don't you just try it and see how it feels? And if it's something that works, keep doing it. If you've tried it and you found some success, you now have a new tool that you can use. Whether you're water fasting with a 0-calorie drink, whether you're dry fasting, whether you're juice fasting, whether you're fasting with bone broth, whether you're fasting with low calories and keeping the calories under 500 a day, try them all. It doesn't mean that you have to be stuck to that protocol of fasting for the rest of your life. Instead, use all of these tools, see what works, and keep pushing forward. Imperfect consistency. Really, what matters here is, can you show up for yourself every day? Willis, I'm aware of that. I mean, I walk when I'm dry fasted. I mean, I've been able to do that. For me, as active as I am, especially for as much as I talk throughout the day, I mean, I literally talk for a living. I coach. I'm on tons of meetings outside of just what I do on YouTube. So like I said, if I were to dry fast for a long period of time, I would probably take some time off, especially when it comes to some days I have like 6 or 7 coaching sessions a day plus a live stream. It's a lot. It's a lot on my end here. Okay, let me see here. Shauna, thanks for stopping by. And actually, I think I'm kind of at the same point. I think this is pretty much all of the chat that has been said. And it's actually really good time because it's time for my refeed tonight. I think that's it. I think that's it. Okay, so I'm like clearing stuff here. Real quick before I sign off, a huge thanks to Elle for gifting 10 memberships. Elle, thank you for the support. Thank you for gifting memberships to people who have not had them before. I appreciate your support as always. Letty, thank you for the $2 super chat. I know that you all don't have to do things like that, but I appreciate that. To all my Finally Fasting fam, to those that are supporting me in an additional way, I appreciate you so much. Thank you for that as well. And to all my regulars, to people who are here every day, to people who are kind and supportive and are helping each other out, I appreciate you. Let's do this again tomorrow. Like I say, you are not alone on your journey. I have been doing this for almost 2 years at this point. You also know you're not alone because look at chat right now. Look at all the people who share their journey, what they're going through, how they're doing, what their struggles look like. You're not alone. Remember that. Be accountable. As I talk about being here tomorrow, can you show up tomorrow? And you don't have to show up here, but when I say can you show up tomorrow, I'm asking you, can you show up for yourself without throwing away the day? Because to me, I look at that as a successful day. Whether you overeat that day, whether you don't fast for as long as you think you would, if you can show up for yourself every day, it's an opportunity for you to continue growing. Okay, that's all I got for today. I'm going to do my obligatory wave. We will do this again tomorrow. Hopefully you all had a great weekend and you have a good next week. And I mean, you're going to see me in less than 24 hours from now. So hopefully I'll see you then. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.